Today is Sunday, February 9th, and this is another update on my progress of beating the S&P 500 along with Bill Ackman's Pershing Square holdings. I do make these videos every Sunday and Tuesday, so if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. The only position change that I made since my last update was I went ahead and sold out a Hasbro, which I sold for a 4.44% gain. That was the position that I said in my previous update that I was looking to sell out of, so on Wednesday when it popped at the open, I decided to take that opportunity. These are going to be all of my current positions. With the sale of Hasbro, that now drops me down to 11 active positions. Right now, Meta, Nvidia, Microsoft, Costco, and PayPal are going to make out my top 5, and those account for 48.12% of my portfolio. I now have 22.13% of my portfolio sitting in cash, which means I have 77.87% invested. Palantir continues to move upward. Right now, it has a gain of 62.72%, and then Meta, my number one position, has seen some more gains as well. So right now, that's sitting at an 18.71% gain. And that one makes up 14.75% of my portfolio. I do still intend on adding another 12th position to replace Hasbro. I'm watching a few different positions and I'm just waiting on the right time to enter into them. On Wednesday, we saw the ADP employment number come in better than expected at 183 versus the 150 the street was looking for. On Thursday, the initial jobless claims came in slightly above estimates at 219 versus the expected 214. And then on Friday, the unemployment report was kind of a mixed bag. Hourly wages increased 0.5% versus 0.3. The unemployment rate came in at 4% when the street was looking for 4.1. But then for the actual employment report, it came in lower than estimates at 143 versus the expected 169. That report includes the entire labor market, which also includes the government, while the ADP employment, which beat their estimates, only includes the private sector. But the big thing is that the wages went up and the unemployment rate's going down. That's definitely good for the economy, but it might not necessarily be good for the stock market in terms of Jerome Powell's Fed cuts, because he said that if the economy remains strong and inflation doesn't come down on its own, then they have the ability to maintain policy for longer than expected. So it seems like with a pretty strong economy, the only way that he's going to cut the rates is if inflation comes down naturally on its own. But with lower unemployment and higher wages, that seems like it's going to be pretty difficult. And it's for reasons like that right now I have over 20% of my portfolio sitting in cash, just in case a report comes out and the market takes a quick dive that I think isn't justified. For next week on Wednesday, we're going to have an inflation data point with a CPI report, which tracks the cost of goods and services for the consumer. And then on Thursday, we have the initial jobless claims along with another inflation data point with the producer price index, which tracks the cost of raw goods and services for businesses. And then on Friday, we're going to finish off the week with the US retail sales. So overall, a pretty big week next week with 2 inflation points with the CPI and the PPI. This is what the SPY chart's going to look like right now. This green line is the one that I added on the last update, and that's the one that I said that if the SPY price can get above it and stay above it for a few days, I'll have a lot more confidence that we're actually in another bull market. On Thursday, the SPY price closed above it, but then on Friday, it saw all those gains get taken back. And right now, the SPY price sits below the 15, but the 5-day is still on top. Like I've said before, as long as the 5-day can stay above the 15, I don't get too caught up when the SPY price closes below the 15, because usually it's just temporary. So what I'm looking to happen this week is the SPY price get back above this line and stay there for a few days. Since Wednesday, my portfolio saw a gain of 2.2%, Pershing Square had a gain of 2.08%, and the S&P 500 had a loss of 0.2%, which brings us year to date. My portfolio has a gain of 8.01%, Pershing Square is at a gain of 7.94%, and the S&P 500 is at a gain of 2.68%. That's going to do it for today. I do make these videos every Sunday and Tuesday, so if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on Tuesday.